Hey everyone, Mike Katz, 7 Points Capital, coming to you on Monday. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Back in the seat. The market opened down over Sunday night. We were down on the futures, and we came back by the morning, and then we sold off again. And now it looks like we came back to green again. So still lots of chop, lots of volatility. Big range, right? The SPYs had a $4 or $5 range, and that's pretty big on the day. But it looks like there's a lot of these sharp reversals at 11 o'clock. Seems to be a magic number these days. 11 o'clock, market reverses and goes higher. And that seems to cause a lot of sharp moves the other way. So it seems like right now we need to just nail and bail the thought process behind, let me stay with my winners, let me see if I can get more out of a trade. That seems to be really tough right now, in the sense that things could change on a dime from hour to hour. Things are moving in big moves in both directions, and what was a nice winner at some point could have easily be a loser, a couple hours later. So right now, just trying to stay nimble, trying to stay green, and not really looking for any home runs. I know a lot of traders are frustrated. I see Twitter, I see different traders messaging me, and it just seems like the frustration level is high, and it's understood, right? We have a lot of volatility, a lot of big moves. Some traders are doing well. They waited for this type of volatility, and other traders are just having a difficult time. And other traders that usually do well during volatile environments, I've seen some have not done well this time around. So it's all over the board. And the key for me, and any advice I have, is just basically just be careful. Don't have to make money at this juncture, at this particular move, at this moment. The key is to just not lose, not to ruin psyche. And the market's always going to be around with the next winning trade, with the next winning period. But having said all that, I think I have a small green day, probably about positive 2-3 hours, somewhere around there. And I'm okay with that. I'll take it until I see things getting a little bit easier. I'm just going to just try for singles and doubles, and that's my plan. So looking at the SPY, that's not the chart I'm looking for. Yep, the SPY right there. You can see, like, on a 5-minute here, we had a sharp drop and then sharp retracement. And on the daily, we took out some pretty significant levels, and that seems to be what's going on right now. Looking at this range here, like on Thursday, we undercut these lows here by a little bit and then had a really sharp reversal. Then the next day, just another big drop. And today we undercut this major low at 260, and again, a sharp reversal. So the range remains intact, 281, 260, and that 20-point range right now. With this type of a hammer right now, I don't know, we could reverse and test the upper part of the range. We could, if we start to go down again tomorrow, we might get some more weakness. Tough to say, very news driven. So I haven't been trading a whole lot of the indices of late. I've been focusing on single names, and there haven't been a lot of low floats in play. So there was one in the morning, MRNS, and this one was pretty good, except I didn't catch the big part, right? The one that started fading from 8 a.m. That was the one to catch. But this one has got a lot of dilution, very toxic name. And by the time the market opened, got this pop to $6. That was pretty good. And covered a tiny bit here because I had a little bit too much size. Covered a tiny bit, and then the rest down here, and that was pretty much over. When it went to 5, I cut it off. I could have done a little bit better on the last piece, but I didn't have a big size remaining, and I was pretty much done with that. So MRNS was good. Let's see what else. Apple, very surprising move to the upside. Basically, the headline was that all their phones are being banned from sales in China. And that didn't sit over well, because I think that's a big market for them and definitely a big part of their growth going forward. So started into this on the short side, just a starter. was risking a couple of dollars on the starter just to see if it wants to top out and get weaker and get some follow through to the downside. So I didn't do anything as it popped up there right on the open. And then when it started coming down and curling back down again, I tried to put some more on, but again, no follow through. And here it just felt like it was going to curl up, and we're not getting that continuation to the downside. A couple of higher lows here, so I took it off, and then it did a big move through 167 here, right around there, 160, 650 through the morning highs, and then just failed. So when I saw that, I hit it again versus these highs. Got a little off here, pretty good. Left it alone. Then I think there was some discussion on it in CNBC at that point. I was pretty much done trading, and I saw a little consolidation here. A couple small feelers. I think ended up being a break even for these little set of trades here, maybe down a tiny bit, but just trying to figure out which way things want to go. First I was long, then short, then covered, and then the last piece I stopped out when we cleared this high here. I don't know. I don't know what to make of Apple. It's one of those names that can definitely move. It's a really well-known symbol, but it's also down from 230 to 160, 170. So you're gonna have a lot of value guys are going to start looking at this and saying that this is a buy, but at the same time, you know, the market conditions aren't great, and they have a lot of negativity surrounding them recently. So it's tough to say which way things are going to go, and I'm just looking to join trend, which has been a little bit difficult because you're not getting those second and third legs of the move. So kind of just got to take what you get. I mean, this morning I had a trader that was, you know, up really big on shorting SPYs, and then ended up losing on the trade. And you know, that's just something that shouldn't happen. Got to have good risk management, good trade management rules that don't let that type of a thing happen. If you're up multiple R's in a very short period of time, it feels great. You think the trade is going to be a home run, and if I made 5 R's in 20 minutes, I should be making 100 R's by the time the day's over, right? But that type of thinking doesn't work, and just have to trade and manage the trade well, and move stops, lock in gains, trade around a core if you have to, but definitely trail stops, move to break even. A big winner like that should not turn into a loser. That's just poor risk management, trade management. So that's the market we're in now. You get these sharp moves and sharp reversals, and it's very hard to be in the money by 4 or 5 R, sometimes even more, and then to watch that thing come back, and now you're like, oh man, I don't want to take this right now. It was just up so much in it, but then that's going to end up in a loss. So what else did I trade today? I had Apple, MRNS, TEVA. They had an article talking about the generic drugs, and it was kind of a hit piece, but it was weak early on, retraced some of it, but then around the open, it started fading, and I shorted a bounce. And then when it started going down, I added some more, moved my stop to here, and then just trimmed a little bit. This level was the low here of the lowest mark of the morning. Whatever, just an excuse to trim some. Probably could have done a little better there. Then took off the rest, and I'm just trying to find a footing here, see if there's another little drop. But again, these trades ended up being like kind of a break even. And then I had this pop here to VWAP, 5-minute topping tail on hammer on anomaly, and I tried that short in the consolidation, but when it cleared this consolidation, I got out, and that's it for TEVA. What else? XLF was pretty good. It was pretty good because in the morning I saw a lot more weakness in financials than I saw in the general market. Tech was actually pretty strong in the open. You could see tech was going up. Facebook, Amazon was pretty strong, and then XLF was the weak spot. So I shorted there, thinking this would be a continuation pattern. I was risking above highs here, and I ended up taking a piece off, not everything, because I just felt that maybe it was just a little shakeout move, so I was going to give it a little bit more space. So I ended up staying with a little more than half the position, covered some here, covered some down there, And then when it curled up, covered out of rest, and you know, I was done with that. But again, just my goal and what I'm telling the traders, our guys, is be careful. I'd rather you not make any money next couple of days, next couple of weeks, instead of lose and have to make it back. So that's kind of the theme. And I think it's been working well for us. We're just staying out of trouble. And some of us are having green days, some of us are doing well, and others are just able to kind of stay the course and wait for better times for their setups. And that's been working for us. So if you're struggling here, and I know a lot of people are, do less. Do less, be a lot more selective, size down. The market's not going anywhere. We don't have to make money all the time. It's foolish to think that I have to be profitable in every market condition. I can try to be. I can try to lose less when it's not my market condition. I can, really hit it and crush it whenever conditions are optimal for me. And then just, like I said, do less. There's so much more we can do during the day than to sit there and click the button. So that's my rant. I look forward to the rest of the week. I think our earnings is kind of winding down. Hopefully we get some low float plays, or the market just becomes a little bit more trendy without these 11 o'clock reversals. So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Hopefully everybody's doing well. And thanks for all the great feedback. We got a lot of nice feedback about the holiday party this weekend. That was a lot of fun. We had traders flying from Florida, from Toronto, and Jersey, not fly in, but drive in. That was a lot of fun. And it's great. Get together, shoot the shit, a few drinks, some dinner, meet the spouses, and do it again real soon. So thanks for watching. I'm going to stop going on and on. Mike Katz, 7 Points Capital. Today's Trader Takeaways.